Well, hate speech in Malaysia is very diverse. You have hate speech in terms of race, in terms of religion, in terms of gender as well. So some of the challenges that we face are multifaceted. And I think even in ASEAN, other ASEAN countries, also similar problems arise. But in Malaysia, it's the youth that engage in hate speech in the social media space. But when it's exaggerated or when it's brought into real life, you can see it filter over or spill over in terms of also like the adults or the different generations. But I think the main issue is to counter hate with peace and love. And of course, to focus on the similarities that bind us as opposed to the differences that divide.
The Philippines context, we have a lot of different tribes. Even before the unification of the islands, we're already having our own identities. And those different tribes have different languages of their own and different identities. And now our history of conflict has caused us to be really, there are some sort of grievances against each other.
As a teacher, I feel like it's a top priority right now. It's a serious problem. It's a growing problem, especially in this digitalized era. I feel like it should have been integrated with education, how to prevent our kids to not to do the hate speech online or also offline.
We grow old because we stop playing. And gamification, the part where yesterday, the second day, we discussed gamification, really made an impact to me, especially when thinking about the audiences that we're going to be having. The Philippines has mostly a young population, so most of the individuals we're going to be engaging are below the age of 35. And these ages are the ones who are very much active in social media and using technologies. In other words, most of these individuals actually value fun, a fun way of learning. And that's where what I am planning to do, what I am thinking about, it's gonna make a big impact.
Oh, well, actually everything was so interesting and insightful. I was really amazed by all the speakers.
The mindsets that changed within me from this workshop would have to be perceiving games as a tool to promote ideologies in peace building and human rights, because we usually see games as a way to compete or for entertainment, but if you apply gaming features into learning sessions, for example, or capacity building sessions, it can be a very helpful, especially with engaging with the youth. We have to explore more creative and interactive ways to actually encourage them in their participation towards peace building and social justice.
I think one of the more interesting sessions was Mas Eko. Yeah, he's very engaging in the way in which he talks about games. I never thought about it before, gamification and how we can use games to counter hate and also different types of phobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism. So I think the way in which we engage with different aspects of life is very important. And it was an eye-opener for me because I've never thought about it in terms of radicalization through games, through social media. And I think it's important because I'm a millennial, so maybe for the Gen Z as well, and I'm not being ageist, so it's very important to have a collaboration between the different generations to counter hate speech. This is my first time here for the SEAN-CSO workshop. I think it's a very important event. I think it has to be continued, and I think that more people should know about it because it allows for different ideas and perspectives to come to the fore, especially when engaging in questions of peace, solidarity, and camaraderie between people and, of course, communities.
Our organization has got this project where we engage former combatants who are women. We try to facilitate them into becoming civilians. And I think using the gamification techniques, the methods here, will really work well in terms of providing the atmosphere that they are no longer in the training space, but they are entering into the civilian space. And what I am planning to do for that project is I'm going to be suggesting that we make them our mentors for the newer generations to engage using gamification techniques, especially that these women are often perceived to be nurturers of the communities, and perhaps we could start on that one to make mentors and mentees for peace building in my area, so general. So yeah.
Our Synergy Institute actually is planning to come to several Islamic centers, like boarding schools. We call it Pesantren here. I think it's very good to share this kind of education for the youth there, especially what's dealing with this topic that I have been learning in these 3 days. We are really serious about empowering digital ambassadors to promote digital literacy, and we would like to participate in building youth resilience to hate speech and then extremism and other negative aspects that we are right now handling.
So for our organization, as we are honing a new generation of change makers and storytellers, the goal for us now is to seek alternative positive narratives, as well as collaborate more with other organizations, individuals, and communities to ensure that the stories that we tell and that the initiatives that we create are grounded in community and always for the community.